It'll blow your mind. So I start talking to him about the possible consequences of cleaning this up and where it can leave her psychologically. And then he looks at me with that look that kind of says, "Oh, you didn't know," or "I forgot to." Tell you, it turns out that his mother had passed away after midnight that day. So this suddenly turned from a hoarder cleanup into a hoarder clear out. And that changes everything. If you're doing a cleanup for a hoarder who still lives in the house, hi, welcome to Midwest Magic Cleaning. My name is Acid Wash Bell Bottoms, harbinger of your worst jeans nightmare. This is episode 2 of us saving a destroyed home. This house was the remnants of a hoarder. It had been through a fire and has many, many broken pieces, holes in walls, destroyed floors, and just a slew of problems. A slew, I say. An amount of problems that can only be quantified as a slew. Now, normally you see me cleaning up extreme messes like hoarder houses. However, the woman who lives here is actually a very good cleaner. There wasn't a lot of cleaning we actually had to do, except for in the first episode where we had to remove several large mouse nests, some things that she was just too overwhelmed to get to, and I honestly can't blame her. It was pretty bad. But outside of those, the whole house is actually kept in really good condition. So in today's episode, we're going to go a step further than just getting her house back in order. We're going to fix a whole bunch of stuff and completely transform her kitchen. It seriously is kind of mind-blowing when you see these before and after pictures. But first, I'm going to start on this front door because there are some problems here that are actually functional. There's about a 3/4 of an inch gap between the door and the frame, and it's not something that can be fixed by just manipulating the hinges like you'd normally do. The door is many, many decades old. It's shrunken over time from heat and cold. The house is settled to the point that unless we completely rebuilt the frame, it's just kind of trashed. So we're going to do a cheap fix on this until the door can be replaced. I'm going to triple weather strip this. I put 2 1/4-inch black rubber weather strips on the inside of the frame on the top and the side, and then I'm going to follow that up with putting a 1/4-inch soft weather strip along the door itself. That'll make the door airtight and kill the breeze that was coming through it before. As you can see, it was covered in duct tape to keep that breeze at bay, but we're going to get rid of all that duct tape and do the weather strip thing. But we're going to go a step further because the glass is actually not seated well in the door, and the only way to get it out is to take it apart. And this door is so old that if we take apart the framing that holds in the windows, we're not going to get it back together again. So I'm going to silicone that glass from the outside. The door's not used anyway, so rather than have globs of silicone that can be visible from inside the house, we're going to do it from the outside. So suck it. Also, the locks are way out of place and they don't quite work, so I'm going to put a sliding lock on the upper right hand corner just to hold it closed for the time being. We don't have a lot of money to work with here, so we're going to work with what we have and spend as little money as humanly possible. The whole point of this series is to kind of show how we can transform a place on as little money as possible. Now, because you guys watch the channel, that gives me YouTube ad income, and I'm going to reinvest that income into materials to get this house back into shape. So for instance, we're going to buy them curtains, curtain rods. We spent about $500 on paint. We're getting them a little bit more storage, and then we're going to fix some massive holes in drywall, especially in the kitchen. When you see those holes, it's kind of mind-blowing. But what we're not going to do is some HGTV thing where people are like, let's spruce up our kitchen. Our budget is $85,000. The hell out of here with your $85,000 kitchen. We're going to fix this up in a way that any person can, with elbow grease and spin kicks, baby. I don't know why I did the thing, but you just got right in your face. Right exactly in your face hole. Now, while I'm working on the door, Jason's in the kitchen wiping down the walls and the ceiling because even though they'd cleaned that before, like after they originally had the fire in the kitchen, we still need to get off as much dirt and grime as possible so that whenever we put the primer and the paint on, it actually sticks. Once he's done with that, we're going to cut some pieces of drywall. Now, fortunately, we didn't have to buy any drywall. The husband actually had a small collection of drywall sheets, so we just jacked one of those and cut some patches out of that. Patches are pretty easy to do, though I kind of suck at it. You just want to cut the patch itself slightly smaller than the hole. Now, I slightly have this particular clip out of order, and I'm too lazy to change it, but the way you determine that hole is you actually cut the existing hole into a square. So you're actually making the hole in the drywall bigger. Then you just screw the patch into place, put some drywall mud over it, put some tape over that, and then mud it all together. Now, you'll see me doing this, and I'm not going to get super specific on how to do it because I'm terrible at it. My apologies to all drywall people for the horrible job you'll see me doing. So if you want to learn how to do these, they're actually super easy to do. I would just look up a video on YouTube that specifically shows you how to do this. Other people can explain it way, way better than me, and definitely demonstrate it way better than me. One thing you'll also notice while I'm doing this is that door frame is so shot and in such bad condition. I'm going to rebuild that in another video. I really wanted to do it for this video so that everything was perfect, or as perfect as I could get it. But I drive a Camaro and I couldn't fit 7-foot long boards in there. I need 2 7-foot ones and then one that's like 4 feet long. But yes, I will